Welcome to class, everyone. My name is Ben Gromyko. I'm from InterNACHI. That's the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. And behind me is the InterNACHI House of Horrors. And you're going to have a great time the next few days of your class. So if you wanted to get out your computer right now, that'd be a good idea. So get out your computer. Maybe you need to pause this video until everyone gets their computer out. And we're going to log into your members only account. And we're going to visit a few URLs, some web pages. And we're going to perform a home inspection. I'm going to go through a home inspection that I did. I'm in Colorado, so the house is going to look a little different, but it's basically the same. Because you'll find out that after you become trained by InterNACHI, performing a home inspection is pretty straightforward. What's challenging is running a successful home inspection business. And in Florida, you have to attain a license. So once you become licensed as a home inspector, it's now a race in marketing. Because a license just means that you have met the minimum state requirements and you are equal to everyone else who has a license. So how do you get the phone to ring? Well, we can talk about that during the class. And make sure you talk to your instructors about that as well. So welcome to class. Get a pencil and paper out too, or open up your computer and go to the contact page. That's at nachi.org/contact. Why? Because we're all here on the contact page. There's about 40 people, full-time employees of InterNACHI, who work at InterNACHI for you. They are available for you. Feel free to contact them and ask them what can they do for your business, right? Imagine hiring 40 people to work on your business. It's incredible. It's an incredible membership benefit, essentially. So thanks for being a member of InterNACHI. What I like to do is go through a home inspection that I performed, and we can talk about all kinds of things. And I want you to understand that the instructors and this experience with the House of Horrors in this classroom, don't get overwhelmed by the information. You're going to learn a lot in the next few days. But I want to show you how fun it is to make a lot of money performing inspections, right? Because you are now in business for yourself. If you wanted to make a good living, you would get a good job. If you want to make a great living, make a lot of money, and have a lot of fun, and do good things in the world, and also pay the bills and have a nice home and go on vacation, you go into business. Because going into business, you take on a lot of work and a lot of risk, but the rewards should be great. And that's why you're all here, because you want to be in business for yourself, right? You want to make a great living. So let's go over a few things. One is, I know you are all fantastic people, but there are some policies we have about behavior. And you must be professional and behave in a professional manner, consistent with our goals in this class. You must treat staff and fellow students with respect. We don't tolerate at all any kind of sexual harassment, racist or offensive remarks, or disruptive behavior. We may require any student at any time to leave the premises. And if you do not leave, well, we'll probably call the local police department. We don't want to go there, right? So let's have fun. And here's a URL that I'd like you to do. If you have your computer open, great. Go to nachi.org/members only. Members with a hyphen only. Or here's an easier way, right? You go to, let me show you. Let's just go to the nachi.org homepage, or any major page of InterNACHI's website. At the top right corner, you'll see members only, members only. Click there, and you want to log in. InterNACHI members, log in. Now you need a username and password. So if you don't have that, that's okay. We'll figure it out for you. Every student in the class right now should have a username and password. If you don't, raise your hand or email us, and we're on the contact page. Email somebody on staff and say, hey, I'm in class and I need my username and password. Hook me up, and we'll figure that out for you, okay? Otherwise, you log into your members only account, and at the top left corner, there's your picture, and there's some information. What I want to talk about is the InterNACHI members only tools or applications. Now, what you're seeing now is about to change in the next month or two. So if it looks a little different, that's okay. We update your site, your account every once in a while. So let's just go over, this is the original account as we have it today. And it's August, actually, 2018. What you want to do is update your profile. So you have a button here to update your profile. Why do you want to do that? Well, you want your picture in there, you want your business name in there, you want your phone number, your email, and your zip code in there, because InterNACHI generates leads, jobs, and directs them to your website and contact information, name, address, phone number, email, website. That's in your profile, right? So we have this huge network. It's like a spider web that grabs people searching on the internet for a home inspector in your area, and we direct them to your website. So you got to have a website. If you don't, no problem. We won't really go over website development in this class, but there's plenty of resources that we have, and I'll be sure to tell you what that resource is. Update your profile. You can change your password. You can update your billing. There's a members only forum. You can apply for an ID card. Why? Well, you want to show up identifying yourself. You want to make sure that there's the word inspector on your back, so that if you're at a vacant home or something, you don't get shot. You want to identify yourself with oh, here's my ID card, right? So you want to hang it like that, okay? And it has your picture, your profile picture, your information, your certification number, etc. And there's a few other things here. There's like an education log. In your education log, you can track the education that you've taken and completed through InterNACHI and make sure that it's being submitted to the state. Florida DBPR wants to know that you have taken enough education once you attain your license to renew your license. And that's all free. All that continuing education is one that InterNACHI benefits, and you get all that free education, online education, because you're a member, free. There's a Call Me Now button. That's for marketing. There's a CPI checklist, Certified Professional Inspector checklist. It's a federal registration mark. You want to attain not only your license, your state license, but you want to attain the InterNACHI CPI status, Certified Professional Inspector status. Because once you are certified, then we can provide you with additional services, such as marketing. Once you attain your Florida license, that's not the end all and be all. You need now to market yourself, right? So once you attain your CPI status, we can really help you with that. And there's a bunch of other things, like a fee calculator. If you wanted to calculate a profitable inspection fee, how do you charge for your services? Well, we have a calculator, and it's online, and that can help you, and plenty of other tools. So what you want to do is you want to log into your members only account at any time. That's your homework for tonight. Next, your state page. It's very easy. Go to nachi.org/Florida. Let's go there now. And there you'll find all the information that you need. How to become a licensed home inspector in Florida. We have Spanish content. We have information about licensing. We have, let's make this a little bit bigger. There we go. We have the state exam. You got to take the state exam. Florida requires a state exam, but InterNACHI's exam is approved by the state of Florida for licensing. We have continuing education. That's free and online. We have the House of Horrors. Congratulations, you'll be doing that. We have information about mold inspections, wind mitigation inspections, Florida home maintenance book, Florida WDO, wood destroying organism, insect inspection stuff, 4-point inspection, Florida real estate agents need to take continuing education we have courses that you can invite real estate agents to take. And that's part of like a marketing strategy. Insurance, home energy inspector, it just goes on and on. So to get to that page, again, nachi.org/Florida. That's pretty easy to remember. 3 more URLs. nachi.org/education is where all of our education is. So if you go there now, let's say you are weak in HVAC. So you go down here, you type in HVAC, and on the right side are all of our HVAC courses. So you can learn more about HVAC. You can be technically competent by gaining information, knowledge through our online courses, right? And that's all online and free. Next URL is nachi.org/everything. And here we kind of put everything you need in a nice step-by-step order, because InterNACHI's website is so huge, we have so many resources, sometimes it's difficult to find things. So if I wanted to find resources about websites, remember I talked to you about websites? I'd go to nachi.org/everything. Let's go there. And there's 15 steps. Step 1 is to join InterNACHI. You need your username and password. Step 2 is the training and certifications. Let's scroll down. Step 6, website. So here's some information about websites. How to build a website for a home inspection business. That's a great resource. 5 ways to make your home inspection website better today. That's a good one. And a couple other things, like a sample website you can look at. The next URL. Going too fast? All right. The next URL is NACHI TV. That's where you'll find free online live classes with me. You can ask me questions during class. You can email me. You can chat with other students. And that's a really great resource. We can go over that. We can do a home inspection together, essentially. Because performing a home inspection is basically straightforward. Once you attain a license or a certification and experience, doing a home inspection, you'll see it's kind of repeated over and over again. Kind of the same thing over and over again. What's really challenging is to stay in business. You need to think about business and marketing strategies. And InterNACHI provides resources so that you stay in business. Because attaining a license, frankly, is pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. Attaining a certification is pretty straightforward. What's difficult is to stay in business and make a profit, right? During this next 20 minutes or so, I'm with you. We can talk about anything you want. I know it's not live, but ask your instructors about the following topics if you'd like. Ask your fellow students about the following topics. Email staff about the following things if you need to, okay? We're going to go over how to perform an inspection. We can talk about software, writing reports, business strategies. Do you need to figure out how to schedule your time and time management, hiring inspectors and growing your business, branding, marketing, and websites, calculating profitable inspection fees, handling complaints, standards and ethics. So let's see how many of these topics we can go over. If I don't hit them all, well, contact us. Talk to your instructors, talk to your students, and contact staff. Some people need a coach, a mentor, a guide to show you what to do, how to do it without wasting time and energy. I know Inspector Coach. Go to inspectorcoach.com and download the free ebook. It's called 8 Steps to Building a Successful Home Inspection Business. It's free. It's a download. It's 40, 50 pages long. It gives you a bunch of things to do if you wanted to do it yourself. Some people don't want to do it themselves. They want somebody to help them. And Inspector Coach, well, I know her. And I recommend Inspector Coach if you're interested. Let's do a home inspection on this house. When I perform a home inspection, I want to make at least $600. $500, $600 per inspection, so that when I come home, my gross is about $1,000 a day. And here's my daily, minute-by-minute schedule. Maybe take a look at this and see if your schedule is like this. I don't know what you need, so I just want to share my schedule with you. This is how I made $1,000 a day as a home inspector. I was a home inspector in Northeast Pennsylvania. for 12 years, ran a business, really successful, had a lot of fun, made a lot of money, and here's my schedule that I used. So I leave my house early, get up really early, leave it early, and then I come back at around 4:30, before 5 for sure. I can have dinner, I can have my evening, I don't work at night, I don't write reports at night. I write reports while I'm inspecting. I'm efficient with my time management. So I go out at 7 o'clock and I want to arrive at my first job early. Why? Because I need to get things done. And if no one's there, I'm not sitting there sipping my coffee. I'm going to work, so I'm going to do the roof and the exterior because I don't need to bother anybody to do those two things. So I go and I do the roof, and hopefully my client arrives on time. Big handshake, big smile, 5 business cards, first impressions, and I tell them about the roof because I've already done it, right? They arrive at 8 o'clock, my job start time, and maybe the agent is there or maybe the seller is leaving. So we have a little meeting outside. I tell them about the roof, and I invite them to go around the exterior. If they do, great. We'll go around very quickly, and I'll look for the major things, and I'll talk to them along the way, and then I'll scoot them inside, right? That's where they want to be. They want to go inside and write in my notebook that I give them and sketch out a diagram of each room and maybe the kitchen and think about renovations and paint and new carpeting and things like that, right? And I tell them I'll be inside and I'll tell you where the heating system is and electrical and all that stuff. You won't miss a thing, I assure them. And then they go inside, and then I go around the exterior myself, and I do a thorough inspection. The roof is maybe 15 minutes. The exterior is another 15 minutes. This is not a long, drawn-out process. This is a visual-only inspection. That means if I grab my right hand and my left hand, right, I tie it behind my back, I should be able to perform a home inspection, visual-only inspection, just like this. I just go around and I look around for things. I'm required to report upon defects that I both observe, well, I see a defect, and I deem it to be material. Now, material defect is a really serious defect. It's going to hurt somebody or have an adverse impact on the value of the home. All other defects, cosmetic defects, a little bit here, a little bit there, I'm not required, according to the standards of practice, to report upon them. I'm required to report upon the defects that I actually see and deem it to be a major problem. Am I required to find every defect in a home? Heck no. I can't even see all the defects in the home. There could be a defect above my head right now. If I don't look up, I can't observe it, right? That's not part of my scope. What's within my scope is written in the standards of practice and what I actually see. So, you're not required to find every defect in a home. Now that you know that, you should have a lot of fun because this is a visual-only inspection. I'm going to be here just a couple hours, maybe less, maybe more. It's up to you, really, how you manage your time. And according to the standards of practice, there are only a few things that I need to inspect. I'm required to inspect these few things according to the standards of practice. There's a lot that I'm not required to inspect, right? So here's what I do. I do the roof, easy. Exterior, no problem. I want to get in the house and do the hard stuff now. I feel like I want to do that first. You don't have to. You could start in the kitchen if you wanted to. I end up in the kitchen, as you can see, at around 10:30. I want to be in the kitchen. If I start at 8, around 10:30, I want to be in the kitchen because it's kind of like a nice place to finish things up and get paid, right? And maybe go over the report in a summary kind of fashion. So at 8:15, I'm inside and I'm looking for the hard stuff. HVAC, plumbing, hot water source, drain, right? And then at 9:15, about an hour, it takes me a while. Those systems take me a while. I want to slow down and take my good old time with that. And about a little after 9:15 or so, I want to do the electrical panel and the structure of the home. If it's a crawl space, in Florida, not many crawl spaces or basements at all. Where I'm from, a lot of basements, a lot of foundation. So you're on slab on grade, take your time. Make sure the flooring is good. Carpeting, look for moisture intrusion. Signs of prior infestation, right? Things like that. So at 10 o'clock, I'm in the attic. If there's any unfinished attic space above the top floor or bedrooms or the ceilings or something like that, or maybe it's a second floor, right? Up there. I want to get up there and see what's going on below the roof, if it's available. For about 15 minutes, I'll do the interior. That means a representative number of windows and doors and switches and receptacles, and flushing the toilets, running the sinks, doing the tub and the shower in all the bathrooms. That doesn't take much time. If there's a garage, I look at the floor, GFCIs, the walls, looking for fire breaches, firewall breaches, garage door, done. And then I'm in the kitchen at about 10:30 again, and I want to summarize everything because I'm thinking at about 11 o'clock I'm done. And I'm out of here. I'm going to have a nice lunch and start my job number 2 at noon and be home before 5. So there's my schedule that I use to make about $1,000 a day. Now, if you're charging, in Northeast, we charge a lot, $400, $500, $600 just for the inspection. Profit is in the additional services that you provide that doesn't add time to your inspection. So if you're doing a home inspection for, let's say, $396, that was my base price, I'd be disappointed if I just come to the home inspection doing just a home inspection. I would want to do a mold or a radon test. Not a lot of radon in Florida. A wood destroying organism scan, or how about an infrared, right? Infrared's not regulated, but it adds value to your home inspection. So you add infrared, right? What I did in Pennsylvania is I bought an infrared camera. This one's only a few $100s. The one I bought was a few thousand. And I used that investment to increase my price because I was adding value to my core service, home inspection service, and I increased my fee from $329 to $369. I remember that. And in order to pay for the additional expense that I had. I mean, I didn't pay for anything. I don't pay for home maintenance books. I don't pay for any of the marketing. I just keep increasing my fee because I add value. Using an infrared camera adds value to my home inspection service. If I can overwhelm my clients with incredible value, I can demand higher fees, right? In Florida, we have a tendency to not distinguish ourselves based upon value, but to distinguish based upon price. And the lowest price wins, and that's no good. So you have to think differently. Become a leader in your industry in Florida and start charging based upon the value that you provide, right? Don't compete on price, right? So what I did was, to kill my competition, was I bought an infrared camera. And this one's really nice. This one's much better than my FLIR B-Cam SD for $5,000 10 years ago. And this is a few $100s, and I would scan around, and don't freak out. This is just like this. An infrared camera is just like a flashlight. A flashlight, I could argue, is beyond the standards of practice. You exceed the standards of practice by using one of these. The word flashlight doesn't appear in the standards of practice. Neither does infrared. A flashlight allows me to see things that I wouldn't normally be able to see without it. So what does that mean? Well, it's dark under there, you know? So if I use my flashlight allows me to see things that I wouldn't normally be able to see without it. Infrared's the same thing. Infrared allows me to see things that I wouldn't normally be able to see without it. That's all infrared is. Why do I talk about infrared? Because right now, there isn't anything better that provides incredible value for a low cost, low investment, that allows you to raise your fees, demand higher prices. Adding value is where you want to think. After you become licensed, after you become certified, after you do your 5 days of training, you want to think about marketing. And the core principle in marketing is that if the perceived value is greater than the cost, then it's a good decision. Now, for your client, the perceived value, if the perceived value is greater than the cost, well, I'm going to hire that inspector. If I'm getting enormous amount of value out of this individual, this professional inspector, then I have to think about the value I get in comparison to the cost of hiring her. If she is doing a great job and with infrared and additional services and inspection tools and ancillary services, if the value that I received is overwhelming according to the cost that I pay her, it's a good decision. I'm going to be a happy camper, right? If the potential client has a problem distinguishing between answering whether or not the value that they received is worth it, you have a problem with your business, right? If they're not sure if you're worth it, then your marketing strategy sucks. You need a professional to help you. And InterNACHI has a member marketing team. There are 7 full-time staff in the marketing department. They don't work for InterNACHI. They don't do InterNACHI marketing. They do member marketing, right? And they are consultants, experts, highly creative, smart people who can look at your existing marketing pieces, print marketing, your strategy, and help you in developing something that will just overwhelm your clients with value. You need to figure out why I need to hire you instead of you. So there's a bunch of you in the class, right? Take a look around, right? Take a look around at each other. You have to figure out how you're going to beat that other person in the marketplace. A license just makes you equal. It ain't going to be the license, right? Don't put the InterNACHI logo on your business. It ain't going to be that either. It's going to be about you. Why do I hire you over the other person? If you can answer that with maybe 2 or 3 good points, then you have a good place in the marketing area. You've already started your path on a good marketing strategy to distinguish yourself in the marketplace. So, performing an inspection is pretty straightforward, right? You're going to have a lot of fun here, but you have to think about the next step. How are you going to get that phone to ring off the hook? Value. So I'm inspecting the roof for about 15 minutes. No big deal. Let me show you how I do the roof. According to the standards of practice, you're not required to walk upon any roof surface. That's even if it's a flat roof, 10 feet up above the ground. You're not required to walk upon any roof surface. You're not even required to get a ladder to go up to the gutter edge. However, to beat my competition in the marketplace, like we talked about, right? My brand, what distinguished me from all the rest, that's the brand, was to bring tall ladders to every inspection and get up on every roof. And I got up on every roof. There's 2 layers on this roof. I wouldn't be able to see that from the ground. So there's 2 layers here, and that's a concern about flashing. When there's 2 layers, there's a concern about flashing and fastening. You'll learn that later. And then I take pictures of the roof. And these pictures, I'll take maybe 30 pictures on the roof, about 300 or 400 pictures altogether during an inspection. They're free. Snap them. And I take pictures that I want in the report. I'm going to put that in the report, or maybe that in the report. I want to make sure my clients, and every potential client, and every real estate agent knows that I get up and personal with the roof. Every system. I touch every system. And I take pictures all over the place. And I put those pictures, those special pictures, in my inspection report. Why? It's because my inspection report is the greatest marketing piece that I could produce. Right? It's not the business card. People throw them away. It's not the flyer. Blah, blah, blah. It says the same information that everyone else says. But my inspection reports, well, they should communicate every reason that you should be hired. When someone reads my inspection report, by the end, they should have answered all the questions that they had in their head about hiring me. They should be totally convinced that I'm the greatest inspector in the world. That's how important your home inspection report is. I'm not kidding. You should show incredible value in your inspection report. And that is one of the things that I killed my competition with. Now, if you and I are in the same market and I'm doing that, I'm showing this overwhelming value for hiring me. You have to figure out how you're going to beat me in the market. And that's kind of fun. That's the fun part of being in business on your own. You know, you don't have a boss who's figuring this out for you, right? You're working on your own. Now, how are you going to beat me in the market? Well, that's kind of like a fun thing to do in business. You have to compete with your friendly competitors. So if I'm doing that, maybe you're doing drones, right? Or something else. The vent stack has flashing around it. There's a ridge vent. There's some chimney stacks. I don't know why there's two. It's probably the neighbors. But I'm going to keep quiet. The worst thing you can do if you don't know what's going on is to start blabbing. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, that's the fireplace chimney. It's an oil fire. It's something. You don't know. So just say, when you get down off the roof, there are a couple chimney stacks. I'm going to figure out what's going on here, which one is yours, and I'll report upon it in my report as soon as I figure it out. Or sometimes you come across something and you can't figure it out at all during the inspection, and you tell your client, I'm not sure what this is, but that's okay. It's okay to say, I don't know. That's the best thing to do. When you don't know, first thing that comes out of your mouth is, I don't know. That's great. And you follow up with, but I'm gonna find out, and I'll email you in 24 hours. I will find out what's going on. This is a fireplace chimney stack. So we're in cold climates, we have fireplaces and big vent pipes on the top of the chimney with a lot of flashing material. I don't like the exposed roofing nails. It's a path for water entry to go right through the roof covering materials, so that should be sealed up or not even installed that way. And we've got a lot of soot coming out, so I'm not all that happy with the fireplace. The fireplace needs to be swept and inspected by a professional. Any defect that I find, I delegate down, I push the responsibility to a professional or a contractor or something like a plumber or electrician. I say, I observed evidence of a defect, and I recommend this professional to come in and look further and make any necessary corrections, okay? That's the backyard, that's the gutter. It's clean, there are soffit vents. Here's the siding while I'm coming down my ladder. And now I'm thinking about how water is collected by the gutter, directed down the downspout, and diverted water away from the house. I also do videos. So if you do videos.
2 layers of asphalt shingles on the roof. The asphalt shingle roof.
Nowadays,
Chimney stack.
software allows you to embed videos in your reports, and the reports are in the cloud. So when they're in the cloud, instead of just a PDF printed out, when they're in the cloud, then it can be interactive and dynamic and have videos and pictures and other resources and links to other resources and things like that. So if you're thinking about writing a report, don't write a report with a pencil and paper anymore. We don't do that anymore. Find software. All software providers offer a free trial download period, and then learn the system. And for me, the more basic the software, the better. I'm not a fancy kind of report writer. There are a few defects that you could identify: cosmetic defects, minor defects, major defects, and material defects. The one that's a material defect is actually the only one that's listed in the standards of practice. And that's the one that if you see it and you deem it to be a material defect, you have to report it. The other ones, well, I identified them in the report, and I kind of described the severity of the defect, because my first-time home buyers, they don't know anything. They don't know the difference between a big problem and a little problem, right? I'll say air filter is dirty, and they don't know what that is. Is that a big problem or a little problem? Well, it's a minor problem. It's a minor defect that a homeowner can fix. A major problem is something that a contractor is needed. A cosmetic defect is like a blemish, right? A spot on the carpet. So these definitions of defects are in our glossary, glossary of inspection terms. And you can use them to help you communicate in your inspection report. 8 o'clock, I'm done with the roof because I also write my inspection report as I inspect. So I have software on my device, my iPhone. Right now, I'm learning a new software that allows me to inspect, take pictures and videos, and write the report as I inspect. And when I'm done with a system like the roof or the exterior, I'm done. I mean, I've inspected it, I've taken pictures, I've taken video, I've written the report, and I'm done. At the end of the inspection, when I'm in the kitchen, remember I'm in the kitchen at about 10:30, I click a button, I upload the report to the cloud, and it's available to my client as soon as they pay me. So write your inspection report as you inspect. At 8 o'clock, I'm doing the exterior. Remember, maybe they'll come with me, maybe not. So I'm looking for any defects. GFCIs are required for every receptacle on the outside. I do the doors and the windows and the deck. The deck needs flashing at the ledger. The railing needs to be secured. No wood rot. The handrail needs to be graspable. The structure needs to be bolted to the house. And at nachi.org/gallery, we have illustrations that help you communicate complex problems like missing flashing at the deck ledger board. We know what that means, but your client may not know what that means. So a picture is worth 1,000 words. If you can't take a picture, an illustration may help. And those illustrations are at nachi.org/gallery. Lots of pictures on the exterior. I take a picture of the manufacturing label for every system that I can. And then there's the electric disconnect. That's an air conditioning unit. Suction line is insulated and the liquid line is there. It's on a stable base. Oh, no, it's not. There's a 2x4 under the air conditioner. That's no good. There's a dryer vent, water faucets, turn them off and on. And the exterior is brick. The driveway looks good. The door, there's a crack in the driveway, no big deal. Focus on what really matters. There's the electric meter. It's secured to the house. There's a grounding rod and a grounding wire. Downspouts disconnected. Needs a rivet, no big deal. 8:15, I'm done with the exterior. I want to get to the good stuff, like the HVAC system, and it starts with the thermostat. So I run a cycle in one way or the other, make sure it sounds right and it cools or heats up, and I identify the location of the air filter if it's a furnace. And the condensate, the unit produces condensate, it goes into a pump and it's discharged. And it's plugged in, should be serviced and cleaned every year. There's an evaporator. If in humidity, in cold climates, winter is dry, so we like to humidify our air in the wintertime and turn it off in the summertime because it's plenty humid. So that's an evaporator filter. It needs to be cleaned. A lot of things like delayed maintenance could be a surprise to the seller. So if you find a defect, don't be accusatory, like the seller didn't know that. So oftentimes you'll find that the seller doesn't know about the defects that you will discover yourself. So if there's a plumbing leak or something, report it, put in the report, show your client, and allow the agents to discuss the fixing of the defect. There's hardly anything you can say, actually, in my experience, that would kill the deal. We are called deal killers, right? But in my experience, there's hardly anything you could say that could kill a deal, actually. It's usually a problem with something else. And home inspectors are the scapegoats, the excuse that a deal went bad. Because they've spent a lot of time, your client has spent a lot of time finding the right neighborhood, finding the right school system, getting a loan, getting approved. They've already seen the house. Now it's the second time through with their home inspector. There's hardly anything you could say that would kill a deal. So don't worry about being difficult. Don't hide any defects. Say it straight. If you find a defect, it is a defect, put it in the report, identify it as a defect that needs to be fixed. Water meter comes into the house through a shutoff valve. There's the electric line to the hot water source, hot water tank. It's in good shape, 50 gallons, shutoff valve. TPR valve is not installed properly. And I know this because I took InterNACHI's course. It's the interior course. We go over, it's the plumbing course. We go over TPR valves and discharge pipes. There's 14 things about TPR discharge that are requirements according to the code. You're not a code inspector, but we build our knowledge based upon standards and practices and code. That is a defect because of several things. A TPR valve discharge pipe should be using gravity, actually, and it should discharge in the same room. So there's 2 defects there. And I know that because I took InterNACHI's free online course about hot water tanks. There's also a resource for the plumbing codes that are online. You can look at those. I wouldn't refer to them. I wouldn't refer to any codes during your home inspection because code is well beyond the standards of practice. Your scope does not include commenting upon code, right? It's just in your head of what is right and what is wrong. Electrical's next. You're not required to remove the dead front cover. 200 amps. No more room. There are breakers in the off position. Do not turn them back on. They should be all identifiable or identified specifically to the breakers, and they are not in this case. There should be GFCI protection. You're not required to remove the dead front. It is hazardous. You can kill yourself if you do. But when I did, I looked for big fat breakers on small gauge wires, and that's in the House of Horrors there. And you'll see that defect in the House of Horrors. Now I'm in the attic, and when I get to the attic, I feel like I'm almost done with the house, actually. I'm almost done with the home inspection. Because in the attic, I can't walk around. Look, there's just filled with stuff, and there's hardly any flooring. It's really hot, and all I'm looking for is something major, like a roof leak or a structural problem. So it's basically only a few minutes. Thickness of the insulation, approximate depth. And this one has hardly any insulation. So that's a truss-built roof. The bottom cord is a 2x4. That means 3.5 inches tall. And I can see the top cords. So the thickness of the insulation is only a few inches. And this is a cold climate. This house has been burning energy in order to cool it in the summertime and heat it in the wintertime. And I bet the second floor is a different climate. I bet the homeowner's bill is outrageous, and they're probably wondering why it costs so much to condition the home. There's no insulation. Structure looks good. I don't see any problems with the structure itself. But there's a bucket in the attic. That's a clear indication of a roof leak. I love buckets in the attic. This one is dry, so I'm going to ask the seller to describe why there's a bucket. It's probably from the prior roof leak. And there's a chimney going through. Bunch of debris. Bunch of no flooring. I can't walk anywhere in the attic. So it's an inspection restriction. Okay, now I'm doing the interior. I'm going really fast through this inspection, just looking at the video, pictures. But my typical home inspection is like 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, something like that. So it really varies depending upon the size of the home, the age of the home, and location. I'm in northern climate, so we've got basements. Down in Florida, no basements. So maybe you can spend more time or less time doing other things. It's really up to you. You're required to follow the standards of practice. Beyond that, it's really up to you what you do and how fast you do it. Here, 2-car garage. I got a garage door opener. Oh, no, sorry, it's 1-car garage. The other button was a light, I guess. Yeah. So open and close the door. Make sure the photoelectric eyes work. GFC eyes in the garage. Inspection restriction. This is a perfect picture to put in the report and to document inspection restrictions, just in case. Don't worry about being pulled into small claims. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes I was sued a few times. You make sure you have your inspection agreement signed, your standards of practice, your report printed, you'll be in and out. And there's the PVC drain pipe. And that tube there is from the sump pump. So they were draining the condensate from the air conditioner into a sump pump and discharging it into the sewer line. That's a code violation. I won't say it in my report like that. I'll say improper discharge of the condensate tube. It cannot go into the public sewer line, right? There's all kinds of violations because of that. So we have a plumbing course, free and online for InterNACHI members. As you can see, I just take a bunch of pictures. This is a firewall breach. The fire door is not rated, so you have to have a fire door in between the garage that's attached to the house and the house. And there's my fireplace. Remember the chimney stack? Followed it through the attic, and now it's down here. If there is a fireplace, you're required to open up the damper and close it again. You're not required to inspect any interior flues of any fireplace or chimney or furnace. And they actually patched the crack in the fireplace, masonry fireplace, with silicone. So that's not good. There are 2 windows with lost seals. They're fogged windows so far. Receptacles, interior, smoke detectors, missing handrails, that's a trip hazard. Clothes washer in the laundry. Flush the toilet. Flush the toilet, try to move it. Turn on the hot and cold at the sink, squeeze the trap, valves, turn on the tub, hot and cold, shower, look at the tiles, look at the flooring, vent, GFCI, door. I'm done. So it's only a few minutes in a bathroom. Take pictures along the way and write the report along the way. There's the bathroom, there's the shower, there's the windows, receptacles, interior. Just keep moving through. 6, that's the 6th fogged window. 7. Now I'm in the kitchen. I end up in the kitchen. I want to get paid in the kitchen. There's the kitchen there. Sink, garbage disposal, GFCIs, dishwasher, turn on the dishwasher, short cycle. If it leaks, it's not my problem. If it leaks, I should be patted on the back because that's my job, is to find problems. If the dishwasher leaks, well, it's a good thing I'm here to do the inspection. You know what happens when I find a problem and something leaks or sparks or breaks? Yeah, I take a picture of it and I put it in the report. I said, I found evidence of this, right? Range, oven. I'm done with my client. Essentially, I'm going to summarize the report with my client. I'm going to get paid at 11 o'clock. So I have a report summary that I could go. I printed out the report summary at the inspection, but if my client wanted to wait, I can print out the entire report and stick it in a 3-ring binder. Because for $500, I want to give them something of weight, of the value. Remember, the perceived value of this is maybe worth it. I don't know. So I put it in the binder. I print out the report. It's about a 60-page report. I bind also a home maintenance book. For Florida, we have a Florida-specific home maintenance book. It's titled Now That You've Had a Home Inspection. Now you've had a home inspection in Florida. So you won't find any basements or fireplaces in here. It's a Florida-specific book about how to maintain your home, how it works, and how to save energy. And then there's other things that I could stick in here too. There's my business card, a letter to the seller is in here, and also rack cards that help me sell ancillary services. So like this one here is mold. So if I was a little bit hesitant of not too sure what to say about mold while I'm doing a home inspection, I can just simply read it and say, mold damages what it grows on, and the longer it grows, the more damage it can cause. Molds are an essential part of the natural environment. Outdoors, they break down dead organic matter, but indoors, molds are potentially toxic and their growth should be prevented. Let me inspect your home for mold before expensive problems develop. And then I give them this. While I'm here, let me inspect your home for mold. I charge almost as much as a home inspection. So there's where the profit is, ancillary services. And we have, InterNACHI has over 45 additional ancillary inspection certifications. So if you wanted to do radon or mold or WDO or infrared or water quality or other, over 45 other 4-point wind mitt, over 45 other ancillary certifications. So, and that's all online and free through InterNACHI. At 11:01 a.m., I made about, well, at least $396. That's my base price. With the ancillary services, add up to over $500. Process it through my credit card account, and I'm on to my next inspection. If you don't have a merchant account, like the ability to strike a card on your phone, right? Go to nachi.org/merchant and take a look at that, and we provide that kind of service for you. And that's about it. For homework, I want you to go to nachi.tv, nachi.tv, and register for the next live class with me. If you can't make it to class, they're all video recorded. And then go to inspectorcoach.com and download that free download, 8 steps to building a successful home inspection business. It's free download. Download it right now, tonight, and go through it. And then start asking questions. Start asking your instructors questions, right? They're here to overwhelm you with technical information, but I want you to know that performing an inspection is really straightforward. What's really fun is getting that down, attaining your license, attaining your certification, and then having fun in the marketplace, implementing business and marketing strategies. And InterNACHI can help you in that so that you are successful and you stay an InterNACHI member as long as you are a home inspector. And I hope you are a home inspector for a really long time. And I hope you have a lot of fun making a lot of money being in business. So if you ever need anything, feel free to contact me. I want to thank you for being here. Have lots of fun and ask a lot of questions and have fun inspecting the House of Horrors. And if there's anything we can do for you, please feel free to contact us. My name is Ben Gromyko. I'm from InterNACHI. Have fun in your class. Wish I was there with you. Bye.